Cab Story 1. Kates was an experienced outdoorsman, familiar with the rugged terrain and the challenges of Alaska's wild. The Kenai Refuge, with its dense forests, shimmering waterways, and abundant wildlife, is a sanctuary for nature lovers. But it's also prime habitat for some of Alaska's most powerful predators, including grizzly bears. On this particular outing, Kates set out with his rifle, prepared for the possibilities that any seasoned hiker knows can arise. The exact sequence of events remains unclear, but evidence discovered at the scene tells a story of a sudden and intense encounter. When Kates failed to return as planned, Alaska State Troopers and search teams launched a methodical effort to locate him. After hours of combing the refuge, searchers stumbled upon signs of a struggle, a sobering reminder of the dangers lurking in the wilderness. Near the site, they found Kates' rifle lying on the ground, along with spent shell casings and a trail of blood. These details suggested that Kates had encountered a bear, likely a grizzly, and attempted to defend himself. The marks left at the scene indicated a fierce confrontation, one that Kates may have initiated in self-defense. The presence of spent casings showed he managed to fire his weapon, but whether he injured or killed the bear remained a question unanswered at the time. Bears in the Kenai region are no strangers to human encounters, especially during the fall months when they are hyper-focused on building fat reserves for the long winter ahead. A bear's drive to feed can sometimes make it aggressive, particularly if surprised or feeling cornered. This time of year is also popular for outdoor activities, increasing the chances of human-bear conflicts. Kate's story is one of raw wilderness reality, an unpredictable, heartbreaking event that underscores the risks of stepping into a predator's domain. The details of his final moments remain speculative, but it is evident that he fought with everything he had to protect himself. Such encounters, while rare, are a sobering reminder that in the wild, humans are not always at the top of the food chain. The aftermath of the tragedy prompted wildlife authorities to monitor the area closely, not only to confirm the safety of other visitors, but also to understand more about what happened. It's unclear whether the bear involved in the attack was later located. The presence of a rifle at the scene, coupled with spent ammunition, highlights the thin line between preparedness and the unpredictability of nature. Kate's passing left a mark on the Soldotna community, where he was known for his love of the outdoors. Friends and family remembered him as someone who thrived in the solitude of the Alaskan wilderness, often seeking refuge in its unspoiled beauty. His loss serves as a poignant reminder of the duality of nature, its capacity for awe-inspiring splendor and unrelenting danger. For those who venture into bear country, Kate's story offers important lessons about safety and preparation. Whether hiking, hunting, or simply exploring, it's essential to respect the power and unpredictability of the wildlife that calls these areas home. Here are some critical takeaways to help reduce the risk of a bear encounter turning dangerous. Always carry bear spray. While firearms can offer protection, bear spray has been shown to be more effective in deterring aggressive bears. It's lightweight, easy to carry, and should be within immediate reach at all times. Travel in groups. Solo excursions increase the risk of surprise encounters. Bears are less likely to approach larger groups, which they perceive as a greater threat. Make noise alerting wildlife to your presence is key to avoiding surprise encounters. Clap, shout, or use bells when moving through dense vegetation or around blind corners. Story 2. The vast wilderness of Alaska has always drawn adventurers, hunters, and dreamers. But it's also a place of shadows and silence, where danger lurks in the underbrush, and the unyielding power of nature reigns supreme. For Peter Rasmussen, a seasoned hunter with years of experience navigating the untamed landscapes, it was another trip into the wild he loved. But this time, Rasmussen would not return. In October 2017, Rasmussen set out on a deer hunting trip in the rugged terrain of Alaska's southeastern wilderness. The days were growing shorter, and the crisp autumn air signaled the onset of winter. Rasmussen, 56, had hunted in these remote regions for decades. He understood the land, its rhythms, and its hazards. As someone who appreciated the solitude of the outdoors, he ventured alone, equipped with the skills and tools he believed sufficient to handle any challenges. The area he chose was notorious for its beauty, but also its isolation. Towering evergreens bordered vast stretches of wilderness, interspersed with rocky cliffs and marshy ground. It was prime deer habitat and home to some of the largest predators on the continent. Grizzly bears, black bears, and wolves all roamed this territory, constantly searching for their next meal. Rasmussen's family expected him back after a few days, but as the scheduled time came and went without any word, concern grew. Search and rescue teams were mobilized, including Alaska State Troopers, local volunteers, and experienced trackers. The search was hampered by the rugged terrain and worsening weather conditions, making every step of the mission a grueling effort. Days later, Rasmussen's body was found deep in the wilderness, not far from a deer trail. The scene was chilling and painted a picture of a struggle that no hunter or outdoorsman would want to face. Evidence suggested that Rasmussen had encountered a bear, most likely a grizzly, during his hunt. Tracks in the area and other signs confirmed that a large predator had been involved. Hunters often carry firearms to protect themselves from wildlife encounters, but even the best preparation can sometimes fail against the sheer size and power of a bear. It's believed that Rasmussen surprised the animal, perhaps while it was feeding, and the confrontation turned deadly. Grizzly bears are notoriously territorial and will defend a food source with ferocity. Whether Rasmussen stumbled upon a bear guarding a cache or if the bear perceived him as a threat remains unknown. As authorities investigated the site, they also sought to locate the bear responsible. Such incidents highlight the complex relationship between humans and wildlife in these remote areas. While bears generally avoid humans, encounters during hunting season can be more frequent, as both humans and predators search for the same game. It's a stark reminder of the unpredictability of nature, where even the most experienced can find themselves in peril. Rasmussen's death cast a shadow over the close-knit hunting community in Alaska. Friends and family remembered him as a skilled outdoorsman, with a deep respect for the wild. His passing underscored the harsh realities of life in the wilderness, where beauty and danger coexist in an uneasy balance. For those who venture into bear country, this tragedy offers critical lessons about preparation, awareness, and respect for the creatures that call these lands home. Peter Rasmussen's story serves as a somber reminder of the risks inherent into the wilderness. While the allure of Alaska's untamed beauty continues to draw adventurers, it also demands vigilance, respect, and preparation. In the wilderness, humans are guests, and the rules are dictated by nature itself. Story 3. Bear Paw Ridge, a remote expanse of wilderness northeast of Prince George, British Columbia, is a place of profound natural beauty and profound danger. Towering evergreens stand sentinel over a rugged landscape, where predator and prey play out an ancient drama far from human interference. It was in this unforgiving terrain that 53-year-old Vitaly Ivanov, a seasoned outdoorsman, encountered one of nature's apex predators. The year was 1997, and his untimely passing would serve as a chilling reminder of the perils hidden within the wild. Ivanov was no stranger to the backcountry. A skilled hiker and hunter, he knew Bear Paw Ridge well, particularly the route to his cabin, nestled half a mile away from the site of his final encounter. On the day in question, he was traversing the ridge when he stumbled into a situation no outdoorsman wishes to face. A grizzly bear, massive and territorial, feeding on the remains of a moose. The scene was likely grisly, the scent of fresh kill heavy in the air. It was the kind of scenario that triggers primal fear, even in the most experienced adventurer. Grizzlies are formidable animals, standing up to 8 feet tall and weighing as much as 800 pounds. They are unmatched in their ferocity when provoked or surprised. This bear, already keyed up over its hard-won meal, perceived Ivanov as a threat. The attack was swift and brutal, the bear lunging at him with the raw power of a creature designed for survival in the harshest conditions. However, the bear did not further disturb his body, a detail that speaks to the defensive rather than predatory nature of the attack. When Ivanov failed to return as expected, his absence raised alarms among those who knew him. The attack sent shockwaves through the tight-knit community of Prince George and among wilderness enthusiasts who regarded Ivanov as one of their own. The circumstances surrounding the attack highlight the precarious balance between humans and wildlife in shared spaces. Bears are fiercely protective of their food, especially during critical feeding periods, when they are preparing for hibernation. In the aftermath, wildlife officials urged caution for those venturing into bear country. Grizzly attacks are rare but often severe, and this incident underscored the importance of understanding bear behavior and taking precautions. Ivanov's story, though tragic, offers lessons for anyone navigating the wild. Story 4. A labyrinth of dense forests, alpine meadows, and jagged peaks. The region offers adventurers a chance to immerse themselves in untamed wilderness. For 26-year-old Brian Dahl, it was the perfect destination for a solo hiking trip, a retreat into solitude and the raw splendor of nature. Tragically, his journey ended in a confrontation with one of the park's apex predators, a grizzly bear sow and her 2 cubs. On July 27, 1992, Dahl set off into the Two Medicine area alone, his backpack laden with supplies and a sense of adventure guiding his steps. He was an experienced hiker and had visited Glacier National Park before. This time, however, he ventured into terrain known for its abundant wildlife, without a companion or bear deterrent. While Glacier's bears are typically shy and avoid humans, their behavior can become unpredictable when cubs are involved or when food sources are scarce. When Dahl failed to return after several days, concern rippled through his family and friends. Park officials launched a search, combing trails, underbrush, and ridges for any sign of him. On the 3rd day, their efforts brought them to a grim discovery. Along a remote stretch of the trail, they found evidence of a bear encounter, disturbed vegetation, torn belongings, and ultimately, Dahl's remains. The investigation pieced together a likely scenario. Dahl may have unknowingly wandered too close to a food source, or encountered the mother bear and her cubs by surprise. Sows with cubs are notoriously defensive and can react aggressively if they perceive a threat. Without bear spray or other protective measures, Dahl would have had few options to defend himself against the powerful animal. The mother bear and her cubs were still in the area when rangers arrived. Officials noted the sow's agitated behavior and determined that she likely felt her cubs were in danger during the encounter. To ensure the safety of other visitors, wildlife officers made the difficult decision to euthanize the bear and relocate her cubs to a wildlife rehabilitation facility. The tragedy deeply impacted both Dahl's loved ones and the broader Glacier National Park community. Friends remembered him as a kind and adventurous spirit, someone who found peace in the wilderness and marveled at its wonders. Park officials emphasized the importance of bear safety to visitors, reminding them that even seasoned hikers like Dahl can face peril in bear country. Story 6. Story 4. The South Castle River, a serene waterway winding through the rugged wilderness of Alberta, is a haven for anglers and outdoor enthusiasts alike. Towering pines line its banks, and the rhythmic rush of water offers a sense of peace to those who come to enjoy its bounty. But even in this picturesque setting, the wild can prove unforgiving. Such was the tragic fate of 56-year-old Gerald Kress, an experienced fisherman whose life was claimed by one of nature's most formidable predators, a grizzly bear. The incident, which occurred on a late summer afternoon in 1992, sent shockwaves through the region and remains a sobering reminder of the risks inherent in venturing into bear country. Kress was no stranger to the outdoors. A devoted angler, he often sought solace along the South Castle River near the Beaver Mines campground, a remote area known for its natural beauty and abundant wildlife. On this particular day, he had set out alone, eager to cast his line and lose himself in the tranquility of nature. Unbeknownst to him, however, he had entered the territory of a grizzly bear, a creature whose power and unpredictability demand respect and caution. The exact circumstances of the encounter remain unclear, as no witnesses were present. However, investigators pieced together a chilling sequence of events based on evidence found at the scene. Kress had likely been fishing along the riverbank, focused on his rod and the rippling water before him. Grizzlies, with their acute sense of smell and territorial instincts, are known to patrol such areas, especially during late summer when food sources are critical for their impending hibernation. It's believed that Kress may have inadvertently startled the bear, perhaps by stepping too close to its feeding area or cubs. In such situations, a grizzly's reaction is often swift and brutal. Despite Kress's presumed efforts to defend himself, indicated by disturbed vegetation and his fishing rod found broken nearby, the bear overpowered him. His injuries were severe, and his struggle ended on the riverbank he loved so dearly. Kress's failure to return home as planned raised alarms among his family, who reported him missing. A search party was dispatched, consisting of local authorities, park rangers, and experienced trackers familiar with the area's challenges. Their efforts led them to the scene of the attack, where the grim reality of what had occurred became evident. The bear itself, still nearby and displaying aggressive behavior, was later tracked and euthanized by wildlife officials to ensure public safety. The tragedy sent ripples through the tight-knit community of Beaver Mines and beyond. Kress was remembered as a kind-hearted man with a deep love for the outdoors, someone who cherished the solitude and beauty of Alberta's wilderness. His passing underscored the complex relationship between humans and wildlife, particularly in regions where their paths frequently cross. Story 5. On a cold October day in 1963, the Swanson River area of Alaska bore witness to a harrowing encounter that sent shockwaves through the community. This vast expanse of wilderness, known for its dense forests and sprawling seismic lines, became the scene of an unthinkable tragedy. Among the workers was 18-year-old pipeline worker John Cortez, a young man whose life was deeply rooted in the rugged rhythm of Alaskan life. That fateful morning, he was tasked with laying seismic lines, a routine job in a place where nature's beauty often cloaked its lurking dangers. The crew's path led them into an area largely untouched by human activity. It was there, near a secluded stretch of forest, that their inadvertent steps brought them dangerously close to a bear's den. The bear, likely an irritable grizzly with cubs or one preparing for hibernation, reacted with ferocious instinct. The first sign of trouble came in the form of low, guttural growls emanating from the brush. Before anyone could react, the bear surged out of its den, a massive, roaring embodiment of primal power. Amid the chaos, Cortez's position placed him in the bear's immediate path. The predator's sheer size and speed left no room for escape. In an instant, the young worker found himself at the mercy of the animal's frenzied attack. The bear's aggression was unrelenting, a response likely fueled by territorial instincts and the perceived threat posed by the workers. His colleagues, frozen in shock and terror, could only watch as the encounter unfolded. The bear, a powerful and unpredictable force of nature, inflicted devastating injuries before disappearing back into the forest as suddenly as it had emerged. The aftermath was grim. Cortez's co-workers managed to radio for help, but the remoteness of their location meant a significant delay in any response. When authorities and wildlife officials arrived, they were met with a chilling scene that underscored the raw and often unforgiving reality of life in the Alaskan wilderness. The attack sent ripples through the tight-knit community of oil workers and their families, serving as a stark reminder of the risks that accompany such rugged work environments. This incident wasn't just a random act of nature, it was a collision between man and wilderness, a clash of survival instincts on both sides. Wildlife experts later concluded that the bear's behavior was typical of a defensive attack, likely triggered by the proximity of its den. Such encounters, while rare, are a testament to the importance of respecting the natural habitats of these magnificent yet dangerous creatures. The Swanson River tragedy became a solemn case study in the unpredictable hazards of working in bear country. If you found this video insightful, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for the latest videos on wildlife safety, survival tips, and fascinating animal stories. Stay safe, stay informed, and we'll see you in the next one.